Wrestling is an extremely high-risk profession by all standards. Most people have associated the sport with play and have assumed that the fake blows and punches meted on the stars make it less risky than many other sports. The truth is that there is an extremely high chance that the dangers exposed to the stars may lead to serious injuries and, in worst cases, death. With that being said, prepare, because here are 5 WWE superstars who died in the ring. Let's begin. Number 5, Luther Lindsay. Lindsay was a black wrestler who enjoyed his heydays back in the 1950s. During this time, there was racial segregation among the states, and black wrestlers were not allowed to fight white wrestlers according to state laws. It was not until the late 1950s that he was able to fight a white wrestler, and slowly, the racial barriers began to disintegrate. His final fight was in February of 1972 against Bobby Paul. 10 minutes into the fight, Lindsay delivered a belly splash on Bobby, and even though he scored, he did not rise from the ground. On this harsh night, he suffered a heart attack and died at 47. Number 4, Kevin Colley. Colley, like other British wrestlers, enjoyed a long, successful career in wrestling. He started out young and finished way into his later years. In October of 1992, Colley, also known as the Black Baron, was competing in an all-star promotion show. He suffered a massive heart attack and was whisked away by the authorities for medical attention. Unaware to many fans, Colley had died at 46. Number 3, Larry Cameron. Larry started off as a football superstar, but later decided to quit after suffering multiple injuries. With his built nature, he decided to venture into wrestling because his stature suited him. He debuted with Stampede Wrestling and became an instant sensation and went on to win the North American Heavyweight title. In December of 1993, Larry was supposed to fight a legendary wrestler by the name of Tony St. Clair. The fight was to take place in Germany. Larry suffered a heart attack as the fight continued, and he was gone before anyone could do anything. Unfortunately, he died at the age of 41. Number 2, Owen Hart. Owen's death ranks among the most infamous wrestling deaths in WWE history. He came from a family of wrestlers and was the most gifted wrestler among all his brothers, who were also wrestlers. He began his wrestling career with Stampede Wrestling in 1983 as a teenager. Owen traveled far and wide in the East and West during his career, competing against various wrestlers and winning a number of titles during his career. Towards the end of 1988, he reinvented himself as the Flying Blue Blazer and joined the WWF. He later left to seek greener pastures, as it was obvious to him that he was never going to make it far in WWF. As the Flying Blue Blazer, Owen used to descend from the ceiling attached to a zip wire where he could be unshackled upon landing on the ring. On this fateful night, as he descended from the ceiling, his shackle accidentally released midway, and he plummeted about 80 feet to the ground. He fell on the ropes chest first and then slumped on the ground. By the time he got to the hospital, he was gone. Number 1, Mike DiBiase. Mike DiBiase was a legendary wrestler who lived in the 1960s. His entire family, including his wife and adopted son, were all wrestling champions, to the extent that theirs was considered a wrestling family. He went pro in 1950, and before long, he was already featured in high-profile matches that lasted more than 45 minutes. He traversed the country, participating in different matches and winning various titles. In July of 1969, DiBiase went in for what would turn out to be his last match ever. He was fighting a man, Mountain Mike, who weighed more than 600 pounds. Midway through the fight, DiBiase suffered a heart attack and was rushed to the hospital. He was pronounced dead on arrival. Although his death was caused by a heart attack, he died while fighting. And there you have 5 WWE